Okay. Welcome to another edition of YAP About It. I'm Edric Jones.
And I'm Bishop Dunn.
And we're going to kick it off starting about the NFL season just ended. And Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl against Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. Jalen Hurts had 293 combined yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception as he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. When Patrick Mahomes had 282 yards combined, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, including a strip sack fumble in the fourth or third quarter. The main thing about the game was really about the Eagles' defense and how they took over. So is this game more a Eagles win or a Chiefs meltdown?
It's a little bit of both, in my opinion. You know, this is the Super Bowl is something we don't usually see from Patrick Mahomes, where Patrick Mahomes is usually like on top of it. Like he's the best quarterback in the league, best player in the league, in my opinion. But he usually has better performances in the Super Bowl, hence why he has the 3 Super Bowl trophies now. This was just a meltdown in itself, and also the Chiefs. I mean, the Eagles. My fault. The Eagles had an amazing defense this season, where their defense literally had Jared Goff and had everybody seeing ghosts for real. And you see, as we saw in the conference championship, how they put 50 plus points on my Commanders. But it was just a little bit of both, in my opinion. What do you think about it?
I feel like it's an Eagles win, and also the fact that the Chiefs really weren't even supposed to be there, in my opinion.
What?
I feel like their roster wasn't really equipped for the Super Bowl because offensively, let me start this. Defensively, I feel like their defense was ready for a Super Bowl. They had Chris Jones, still had Trent McDuffie, still had the linebacker core. They got Nick Bolton back. So the defense, I feel like, was there. It was the offense. It was really just Patrick Mahomes make something happen in the clutch or make something happen in a tight situation game. Because the run game was iffy. It was iffy all year. They had Kareem Hunt.
It had injuries.
That's the point. The roster wasn't equipped. Kareem Hunt was the main running back. Isaiah Pacheco didn't come back to like later half of the season, and he wasn't back to what he was last year. Then the pass game was just Xavier Worthy, being like a gadget type player, end arounds, sweeps until they started actually incorporating routes for him. And also they lost Rashee Rice, and they got DeAndre Hopkins. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl. He dropped a wide open 20-yard first down. Dropped that, so he obviously not in his prime like he was in Houston or in Arizona. And for the Eagles' part, they just had the way better roster. They have the best roster in the league, in my opinion. All top to bottom. They have now a top 5 quarterback in Jalen Hurts. He's like right on the 5 part. I don't think he's better than the top 4 AFC quarterbacks. Got the best running back in the league, Saquon. They got both A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, then Dallas Goedert. They have a top 3 O-line in the league with probably the most unstoppable offensive play, the tush push. And then defense, they built it all through the draft and through Georgia. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith. Then they struck gold on Zach Bond in free agency. 1-year contract. He turned out to be an all-pro this year, one of the top middle linebackers. Then they corners-wise, they improved that from the draft. Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell, safeties. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back, and all that incorporated with getting Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. That all came in place.
I mean, we gotta see how the Eagles gonna do this upcoming season. You know, they lost the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. He's now the head coach of the Saints. You know, then got a lot of people you got to re-sign. Yeah. As you see, the Eagles recently released Darius Slay and James Bradbury. So, and then Zach Bond is also, he had a 1-year contract, so you got to see how long they keep him around. And, you know, Milton Williams,
he's gone.
He might be leaving too. So it's a lot of things that the Eagles have to do to try to get themselves back in that situation. You know, but I think for like next season, it's my early predictions. Super Bowl. Throw my Commanders in. I'm throwing my Commanders in there. You know, I'm throwing it. But I'm just gonna say that because I'm prideful with my team becoming as we just traded for Deebo Samuel, and I'm also looking for who we draft and stuff, and we'll be doing the off season. So I'm gonna throw my Commanders in there, and maybe the Ravens probably get over that Patrick Mahomes hump. Hopefully, as we see, they lost to Josh Allen and the Bills in the divisional round. So we got to see what they can do, and hopefully they get over the hump and probably make the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, the early Super Bowl prediction, it's really hard to say because the offseason really determines everything. Because, there's unexpected trades happening, draft, how them rookies going to play out. So I can't really have a prediction right now, but the Commanders did shock a lot of people this year, making it this far. Jaden Daniels had one of the best rookie seasons in the past recent years, and even all time still. The roster still needs work. I think y'all are looking to trade Jonathan Allen. So y'all going to have to, at D tackle, y'all going to have Jazon Newton and Deron Payne. So I'm interested to see y'all future. So since it's the NFL offseason, so now we got the NFL draft coming up. Tennessee Titans get the #1 pick. Draft starts April 24th. And the projected first overall pick is 3 people right now. I want to say it's Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward. So who do you think is going #1? And also, separate to that, who do you think is the best prospect?
Well, I think going #1. I think I've been looking at the Mel Kiper projected mock draft and the Phil Yates. I think it may be Cam Ward. Just based off the fact of Cam Ward having an amazing season this season. So I think it'll be Cam Ward going #1, and I think the best prospect in this draft it comes down like two, maybe 3 people, and Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and a wild card I'm throwing there is Malachi Starks, because he's also like one of the best safeties in the draft. But Malachi Starks could also be switched out with Nick Imawari from South Carolina. So it's like it's a lot of good prospects, but the main 2 is Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. So seeing where them 2 go would be amazing to see once the draft starts. What do you think?
I feel like they're gonna probably draft Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, 1 and 2. I feel like they're gonna more lean to Abdul Carter because I heard reports saying they they might give Will Levis another chance this year. He's still young, and he came out as a raw prospect out of Kentucky. Same with Anthony Richardson, so he kind of still needs time, but time running out, and they still have this first overall pick. And also, the quarterback draft class this year is really weak when it comes to people like Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. Even though they're really good prospects, they have a lot of negatives to them. Like Cam Ward gets antsy. He takes too many risks when it comes to throwing in the tight windows. Shedeur Sanders' arm talent very comes to question. So he can't really make all the throws you would want a superstar quarterback to make, like a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, even Jaden Daniels, actually. So, and I feel like the best prospect, it has to go to Abdul Carter. I mean, the raw talent he has, raw athleticism he has, is probably the most athletic DN in the draft right here, either him or Abdul Carter, or James Pierce. He probably could run like a 4.4, probably 4.5.
Yeah, I think he's scheduled to run at his pro day, so we will see that. Yeah. Because Abdul Carter remind me of Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Especially that coming from Penn State as well. Yeah. So they remind me of Michael Parsons, and the NFL moving forward though. The NFL season usually comes to an end not only with the Super Bowl but also the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl games has been going on for 3 years now, where they switched to flag football and other events as well instead of playing contact football. So I want to know, what are your thoughts about playing a flag football game instead of the traditional contact?
Well, I mean, the flag football game this year was a little bit entertaining. I want to say they had Peyton Manning and Eli Manning as the head coaches. But it was like a high score. It was like a whole bunch of challenges. And then the game itself was high score. I watched it with my mom and dad. It was I want to 70 something to 60. It was still kind of low effort, like how it was with pads, which I think that was the issue. That's why they changed it to flag football, the ratings were getting low. Nobody was putting in effort. You're not gonna see, hard hits like that Sean Taylor video. A lot of people have seen, or anything else like that. So I feel like them keeping it as flag football, they just gotta probably build on it. Yeah, I feel like that's my stance on it.
Okay, so see me personally, I like the format of when you'll have two like former NFL players draft their teams, draft their Pro Bowl teams. We seen that when it was like Team Rice versus Team Irvin, where they draft their Pro Bowl rosters. So I think we should get back into that to where it could maybe have some competitiveness. So if you like two players on the same team get drafted to different teams, that could probably bring like an edge, or like want to be better than the other person. So I think the Pro Bowl should get back into that. I have no issues with the flag football game because they trying to have player safety. Because it's also the off season, going to the off season, and none of them not playing no more until the next football season. So I have really no problems.
Yeah, comments. A quick comment on that. What you talking about? I don't think they did a draft. It was just AFC and NFC, and the certain player was coaching that one side. So like,
it was draft. I show you.
Bro, it was not. It was
a draft.
I remember the players. Like I remember it was a team. Chris Carter.
I show you
I
later.
think another player.
I'll show you later on, Brad.
All right.
And so at the NFL honors, Jaden Daniels, he won NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jared Verse won NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year was Saquon Barkley. Defensive Player of the Year was Patrick Surtain. And the big one out of all of it was the MVP, Josh Allen. So we had amazing seasons from people who were runner-ups to these awards. Brock Bowers was also a high consideration to being Offensive Rookie of the Year. And also the big one, Lamar Jackson, he posted better stats than Josh Allen, but ultimately didn't win NFL MVP. So that being said, I want to ask you, what do you think about the NFL honors?
I feel like it went well until they announced the MVP. So, Offensive Rookie of the Year, I feel like that was pretty obvious. Jaden Daniels had all-time season, even though Brock Bowers had probably the best rookie season from a tight end in recent memory. Jared Verse, he had a low-key good season. Had a lot of pressures, made a huge impact for the Rams D-line. Patrick Surtain, well-deserved, one of the best cornerback seasons you've seen in recent memory since Stephon Gilmore's season in 2019. And then Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley, that was well-deserved. Super close to getting that rushing record. And when it comes down to the MVP, I wouldn't have an issue of it if Josh Allen won All-Pro first team, or All-NFL first team, because that's supposed to go to the best quarterback. And Lamar Jackson won that. Better, like he won all first team. So, and I think 90% of the time that's the MVP. But this time they gave it to Josh Allen, which to me didn't make sense because he wasn't even the best player in his position, according to the same voters that voted for Lamar Jackson for all NFL first team. So.
I mean, for me, it's like I feel like maybe the MVP could have been different. Lamar had a great season. Josh Allen, he had a good season as well, because he lost Stephon Diggs in the offseason, so he had a lot on his back. But he was the most valuable player to his team and led them to the AFC Championship. But for me, I felt like maybe Saquon could have won this MVP award. But if he would have broken that record, then possibly he could have been an MVP because it's been. My fault. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen a running back win the MVP awards. Not since Adrian Peterson. Yeah. So it's all been straight quarterbacks, and I felt like Saquon having the season that he had, he could have won MVP. Also, we've seen a great season from Lamar. So Lamar had a high chance, but for me, I felt like voters may have thought was seeing that AFC divisional game. I know the MVP is a regular season award, but they probably based it off of that divisional game and seeing Josh Allen win and brought the team
Well,
to
nah,
the championship.
that's not the voting system. How they work it is that they vote after week 18, so it's right before round 1 of the playoffs. So they vote strictly for the regular season. And I feel like when it comes to your point about Saquon, if it was the MVP race from last year, where it's Lamar, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Christian McCaffrey, I feel like he would have won it there because that was one of the weaker ones of the past decade. But again, about the most valuable thing, if you thought Josh Allen was more valuable, then shouldn't he have won all NFL first team?
I mean, probably
Like, that don't make sense. And like
I don't know. I mean,
like Lamar Jackson had an all-time season. Like it had one of the best seasons since I want to say his unanimous MVP season. He had a better passing season than them. He had 5,000 total yards, including his rushing stats. 41 and 4 interceptions. That ain't been heard of since Aaron Rodgers did I think 30 and 3 or something like that. And he had one of the highest passer ratings. He had a top 4 passer rating all the time. So I don't know, man, like that. I don't know, man. But Josh Allen, congrats to you for winning a Joel Embiid MVP. Congrats for you for that.
Joel Embiid.
So
that's crazy. Well, moving on, the college football season was a good one. We seen freshman standouts to the most shocking upsets. As the season came to an end, the college football playoff champions of the new 12-team playoff format was the Ohio State Buckeyes, as they beat the odds coming from being in the first round of the college football playoffs to being Oregon, then being Texas, then ultimately being Notre Dame 34-23. So my question to you is, do you see them repeating as college football champions to next season?
it all depends on the quarterback situation. Julian Sam, I think he was a 5-star quarterback last year. It all depends on him. They get Jeremiah Smith back, and the defense is still intact, even though they lost Jack Sawyer. They lost some of their good old linemen like Josh Simmons. And they didn't really struck gold in the transfer portal like they did last year. Like last year, they had Quinshawn. I think they had Caleb Downs from the transfer portal. So they basically bought their way to the championship. They got it through there. So I feel like it's probably going to be somebody new this year. Could be Texas with Arch Manning. Still got some of the young players. I feel like a little wild card could be South Carolina with the young talent they have. They got a really good sophomore quarterback right now, Lenore Sellers. They still got. I think they got Raheem Sanders, or I think they got rid of, or I think he.
I think he going to the draft.
He going to the draft. So they got Nick Harbor. Still kind of sucks at route running, but if they develop him in some way, they're gonna find a way to incorporate him. They still got Dylan Stewart, and then after that, you got LSU in the come-ups. So yeah, it's gonna be like a real weird race next year.
Yeah, but I say it's going to be a very tough one, because like you said, the transfer portal, and then also I think Oregon won the National Signing Day to where they signed a lot of people. And I think LSU was like a close second behind them. So those two teams, and they also got Texas. This is, like you said, it's the Arch Manning era in Texas, and I feel like Texas could go far. Also, Penn State with Drew Aller coming back. He's looking to go back to the college football playoffs and lead his team to a championship. Also Georgia, Alabama. So it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of teams looking to take that title away from Ohio State, and I think Ohio State losing the people that they are losing now. I think it's going to be tough for them to get back to being repeating champions. Because right now the best player on that roster is Caleb Downs.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's gonna be hard to rebuild what they've been building.
They don't got the same run game either.
Yeah, not the same. You're losing Quinshawn and Travion Henderson, so now you gotta rely on a red shirt or somebody that came from the transfer portal for your running back position. You also got a red shirt freshman in Julian Sand that's gonna take over, or maybe Aaron Nolan. He
transferred.
transferred.
Yeah,
I thought Aaron Nolan was still there, but
He
so
transferred to South Carolina, actually.
yeah, I said like you said. Also, yeah, South Carolina. You know, Lenore Sellers. Ole Miss may still be a team to look out for, even though they losing some of their key players. So it's gonna be a lot. We'll have more sports discussions after this. Stay tuned.
And welcome back to the Virginia High School 1600-meter state championship. As we get back to the action, we see Miles Monpoint is gaining on Antonio Boyd for the first place finish. Oh! Miles Monpoint just tripped Antonio Boyd.
But Trayvon is helping him up right now.
Trayvon is helping him up as Trayvon just sacrificed his third place finish to help out Antonio Boyd.
Yeah, that right there is kindness and excellent sportsmanship right there by Trayvon.
Whoa, man, you just hit my car. Chill out, man. I didn't even hit your car. I'll show you chill out.
That was a bit of an overreaction. In order to manage your anger better and make sure events like this don't happen to you, here are a few small pieces of advice that you can follow. Think before acting. Take deep breaths. By following just these two pieces of advice, we can all start to live much healthier, happier lives.
Welcome back to YAP About It Sports. I'm Bishop Dunn. So, my fault.
I'm Edric Jones.
My fault. I gotta talk about this because it's been the
Highest trade on the block.
biggest trade of the decade so far.
Yeah.
And Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and Max Christie. So the Lakers have been 8-2 since the trade happened, and the Mavericks are 6-4.
Yeah.
So who do you think won this trade so far?
The Lakers won this by a landslide. I mean, Nico Harrison is one of the dumbest GMs of all time in sports history, in my opinion. I mean, he traded face of the franchise, 25-year-old, five-time All-NBA superstar for a aging superstar and a bag of chips. I mean, if you want to call Max Christie a bag of chips, you can, and a first-round pick. I mean, that's not enough, especially you had these conversations low-key. They didn't really tell nobody that they was shopping Luka. And now the outcome of this is AD, first game back, he had an amazing first 3 quarters, but then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Then after that, they already lost all these centers. I mean, Derek Lively, he's not gonna come back till probably about May or something like that. I want to say Daniel Gafford's been out, and they just lost Kyrie to an ACL injury, so he's gone for the rest of the year. I mean, this is a terrible trade by Nico Harrison. And when it comes to the Lakers, even if they was losing right now, they will still win the trade because they still got Luka for like the next 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Like, I mean, he's gonna be there for a long time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. You know, I'm a Lakers fan, so seeing this trade go through and losing Anthony Davis, he's injury prone. I'm gonna say that he's injury prone, and then now getting Luka Doncic, and our defense has actually been the top defense these past 15,
number
16
2 in defensive
games.
rating.
Yeah, so I'm excited about what this team could do in the playoffs. So I'm just looking forward to it. Thank you for Rob Pelinka for making this trade happen, and Nico Harrison too. So speaking of this trade, the Lakers been winning, but I also want to talk about the power rankings.
Yeah.
So number 1, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Y'all.
Number 2, the OKC Thunder. Number 3, the Boston Celtics. Number 4, the Knicks. Number 5, the Grizzlies. Number 6, the Nuggets. Number 7, the Lakers. Number 8, Rockets. Number 9, Pacers. And number 10, Pistons. How do you feel about this list?
I feel like the list is solid. I mean, Cavaliers number 1, best team in the league right now. We just took down the Celtics. Donovan Mitchell had an amazing game. Was able to overcome Jason Tatum, almost near 40-point triple-double. Was able to conquer that. So best record in the league, best three-point shooting team in the league. That's us. So Thunder, I feel like they have probably the best between them and the Celtics. I feel like they have the best roster top to bottom. They have the MVP candidate right now in SGA, just dropped 50 points on the Rockets. Then you got the Celtics. When they healthy, they always going to be a monster. The Knicks, I feel like you could probably drop the Knicks a little bit lower, even though they have a great record, because they became winless. The top 4 teams, they haven't won against us. We swept them. They lost. The Celtics swept them. The Thunder swept them. So I feel like they should drop a little lower. The Grizzlies' ceiling is really high to me if Ja Morant can stay healthy and Jaren Jackson, because I feel like they have all the other pieces together to make a deep playoff run. The Nuggets are a little spotty because it all depends on Jamal Murray being back to his old ways, being a really good secondary scorer. The Lakers can be spotty because the center position. I feel like when the playoffs come, that center position is going to kind of get exposed. Even though y'all been playing really good defense.
Hey, Jackson Hayes, man, you gotta believe him.
Jackson Hayes ain't enough though. To me, he ain't enough. Then the Rockets, they're a very young team. I feel like this year is not their year because of lack of experience. Then the Pacers, I feel like they possibly should be off the list. And I feel like the Pistons should move up a little bit because they've been on a roll. Cade and them been going crazy. Cade Cunningham living up to the first overall pick potential. But other than that, I feel like the list is really good.
Yeah, I say this is a good list. Like the Cavaliers are 50-10 in the first 60 games that they played. So that's a good record for them. And the Thunder also has 50 wins as well.
Yeah.
So the top 10 rankings, I probably say the only thing I'll change about it is maybe change the Pacers with maybe like the Timberwolves or something, because I know the Timberwolves been playing good basketball to an extent. So the next thing is the NBA All-Star Game.
Yeah.
It's been changing these past couple of seasons. This year we've seen the All-Star Game have 4 teams, 3 All-Stars and 1
Rising Stars
team. The teams consisted of 68 All-Star players. You had to score 40 points to win the game in advance.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what do you think about this new format? Do you think it's a good format that the NBA should keep using, or do you think the NBA should try to find something that's new?
I feel like the format was fine. It was nothing special. I feel like what they should do is probably raise the scoring limit up, because that doesn't really give a chance for all the past records that was set in the All-Star game. Memorable games that people dropping 30 points, 40 points. We're not going to see that if the limit's going to be like 40 points. And then another thing that's was part of the game that had nothing to do with the game, but it was a really issue, was how many commercials and ads was on it. I mean, there was more ads and stuff than the actual game. Somebody did the calculations. The actual games all totaled up to like 46 minutes, and ads and commercials was like 3 hours. And then stoppages, you had a Mr. Beast challenge in the middle of the game. They did a little TNT send-off. Then they had a little San Francisco halftime show with E40 and them other old people, Sweetie too. So I ain't gonna lie, the format is fine. It's just they gotta cut the ads. Like, I was killing it.
For me, I feel like the All-Star game, like it had incentive. Like, that was good. Seeing the Rising Stars play against the All-Stars, that was good. But I feel like the NBA All-Star game could add incentives to where the winner of maybe like East versus West, go back to the traditional East versus West, and maybe like the incentive for like if which conference wins gives maybe like home seed advantage in the finals. Like, you may have a lower record, but you want, since your conference won the All-Star game, boom, you automatically come the home team for game 1 and 2. So I feel like it should add incentives to where the All-Star game could get more fun. But we've got more for you on YAP About It right after this. Keep it right here. Don't go nowhere.
Welcome back to YAP About It. For the last thing we got to talk about what's happening local. Michael Vick just became the head coach of Norfolk State. And also Warwick football, you got Thomas Sykes now leading the football team in there. So mainly about the Michael Vick one, what do you think, how would that impact the community through the coaches?
I feel like it'll get more awareness to HBCUs. Mike Vick becoming the head coach there, he's world renowned. Global. Like I'd probably say like his impact could be stated like globally. Like
it's Michael Vick.
Yeah, I say yeah.
Two-time.
So him being there, and that'll probably encourage more kids and have more media coverage for HBCU football. So I feel like that's a good hiring for Norfolk State.
Yeah.
And because, there's a lot of stuff in our community that like don't get recognized, but this is one of the big things for the community, and I'm glad that he got that job.
Yeah, it's kind of been influenced by the Colorado's Deion Sanders when he went to Jackson State. But the difference is when he got to Jackson State, he was able to land the #1 recruit, Travis Hunter, and able to bring down his two of his sons. Michael Vick got to kind of start from the ground up.
Yeah.
So I feel like his challenge is going to be a little bit more harder, but he's doing a good job so far. He's pulling transfers, 3- and 4-star recruits from all type different schools. So I feel like Norfolk State could really be on the top of their game this coming fall.
Yeah, and you also got the top 3 linebackers in the PD, and Brendan Thompson, Caleb Tillery, and Isaiah Emery. So he doing great job recruiting locally, and I'm pretty sure he'll have another class to where he brings in more people around the whole country.
He influenced Deshaun Jackson into coaching too in Delaware State. So
yeah. So like I said, we speaking locally about new hirings. Like I said, Thomas Sykes is the new head coach of Warwick. Coach Hairston, actually, he went to go coach somewhere else. Everybody thought he was retiring, but he's coached somewhere else. I think he's coaching Grafton, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Grafton or Grassfield. It's somewhere. But I know he's also a new head coach of some other school. You got Coach Wright, Coach Chamori Wright. He's the new head coach of Heritage. You got Coach Ray Malone. He's the new head coach of Denby. Yeah. So seeing these new coaching hires, how do you think the PD will be impacted this year?
I feel like when it comes to, Coach Ray Malone, he probably has the most impact. Because Denby with Tommy Riemann, they was kind of on the come up. Like they was doing better, kind of slowly, yearly, but they wasn't doing good enough. So they got Ray Malone now. He got a good quarterback, good starting foundation. So I feel like they're gonna be making some noise hopefully this coming fall. And when it comes to Coach Wright, very young team in Heritage. Obviously we went there. We still go there.
Yeah.
And it's a super young team, so I feel like it's gonna be more of a development thing. And when they start, hitting fire, what I'm saying, the defense is gonna be great. That's all I know.
Yeah. I like the hiring for Denby with Coach Ray Malone. I see his fiery intensity having a big impact for that Denby program. He probably complements Kevin Parker well. He probably help KP out to like elevate him. Coach Sykes being there, he's been in that Warwick program for years now, and him taking over that starting job. He still got some key pieces to his roster because most of his squad is like juniors and sophomores. They about to become seniors and juniors. So he still got pieces, and also with Coach Wright, like you said, very young team. And it's probably gonna take them a few seasons, maybe 1 or 2, to get the players developed and to where he wanted them to be, for them to become the squad that he knows that Heritage can become.
Okay, so that'll be all we have for YAP About It. I want to thank Bishop and want to thank me, myself, and then I think our camera crew and our other producers. So, again, I'm Edric Jones.
I'm Bishop Dunn.
And it's YAP About It signing off.